I call Farishte, I call everybody, and I'm like, what should I do in this situation? How do we go about it? And we get, that's just the biggest benefit. But other than that, on ground, we got our payment through because Preda ka letter gaya with everybody's signature saying, we have heard that this is happening. We would really appreciate if you could make that payment. And within 48 hours, and I was so surprised, we had written that amount off. And with that letter, with all the big agencies and small agencies written and signing off on it, we received our payment within 48 hours and not had to, we didn't even have to follow up after that. We had been following up for months, and that letter just did it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge benefit for any agency, and we don't do anything at Preda without the legal backup. So we have a strong legal backup. Shanaz leads our group very, very well. And we have experts like every shakal jo main dekh raha hu, ye sare mere bosses hain. Amna dikh rahi hain, Farishte dikh rahi hain, sab log. So, this is the biggest benefit that I think Preda has, that one, we have a platform where we can do even changes in how things are done in the industry, plus not get bullied and be in a position where we can talk back or speak and say this is not the right thing to do and get our rights. And thirdly, start changing things. We are right now negotiating and talking about all these big multinationals who globally have um, um, a way of doing things, and they change that when they are in Pakistan. For example, when they engage all of us for their हम उनको presentations बना के दें, हम उनको बताएं कि हम क्या करेंगे, what event. We want to charge a token amount for it so that they know that our team, ourselves, we are putting in time and energy and effort in putting a document together. And that should be paid for so that they take it seriously. We do not want to work 15 days on a project and then the senior people are not even there. Juniors sit and listen to it. So I think that these are the kind of benefits that the industry will benefit from if we all come together as Preda.
Thank you, Rasik. Thank you. I think we have enough people present now, and we can start our session. So we will formally begin it. Rasik, thank you for initiating this. I know that you were in a hurry because your mom is in the hospital. So just to let everybody else know, those who also showed up more or less on time and maybe wondering why we've already, gone headlong into our conversation, it was because Rasik had requested that he be allowed to speak early since his mother is hospitalized and he may have to leave us any minute. So we will now formally begin the program and begin Preda's town hall. This is a virtual town hall, first one that we are doing, and welcome everyone. I was hoping that we would have more numbers, but I can understand because of Ramzan, there are, everybody has a lot of commitments. But inshallah, we are going to make up in the quality of our discussions today, what we're going to be lacking in our numbers. And next time, we'll, I'm sure, have more members attending. So, welcome everybody. And before I formally begin introductions, could I request everyone to go on mute unless it's your turn to speak, so that one doesn't get disturbed during the session. So I'm going to introduce our entire team that's present right now, although we have more members. So in case some of you haven't met me before, I'm Shanaz Ramzi. I'm Chairperson Preda and CEO Starling's PR and Events. I have been in the media industry for over 30 years, and I started my career as a journalist, then moved on to become the GM of Public Relations and Publications at Hum Network before starting my own company. Do we have Priya over here? I don't see her, so I will introduce her once she comes on board, or maybe I'll introduce her. In any case, I'm sure she'll join us any minute. So Freha is our Senior Vice President at Preda. She is CEO and creative head of Catwalk Event Management and Productions with over 38 years of experience in the field of events and PR. She has also founded CATS Model Management, Catalyst, Public Relations, and Rukhsati Wedding Planning. Selina Rashid, you see over here. She's a vice president of Preda. And she is the founder and CEO of Lotus Client Management and Public Relations and has previously worked in London at Avalon Public Relations, one of UK's top PR firms. I did see Hassan somewhere. I don't know if he's still around, but he was here, and he is our treasurer or a finance secretary to give it a more pompous kind of a designation. He is the founder and CEO of public relations agency BBPR and Digerati. And prior to that, he has worked with Dawn News in the marketing department. Rasik, is he still here? So Rasik is a founding member of Preda, and he is the owner and partner at PH Solutions. Prior to launching his own company, he has served as executive director MCR and regional vice president international Aroma Corp. Then we have Farishte Aslam over here. She's also a founding member of Preda, and she is CEO of an integrated communications agency, Talking Point. She has served 10 years in Unilever Pakistan, handling the external communications, and started and headed the integrated marketing company Golan in Pakistan for its first 2 years. I think Freya is just about to come in. Anisa is also here with us. Anisa Rashid Khan. She is a founding member of Preda, owner of Raka Events, a full-service event management company, and she has over 34 years of experience in the field. Amir, I don't think has joined in yet. And then I think I saw Muhammad Asfar Hassan. Yes, I do see him. So he has joined us as a full member of Preda. He's founder Nutshell Group of Corporate and Corporate Pakistan Group. He's also a public advocacy consultant, global outreach practitioner, and a business connector. Sorry, I missed out on Atika. Atika is one of our founding members of Preda. She is CEO of Audio Consultancy and is also currently elected chairperson of Actors Collective Trust. She has also served as chairperson of United Producers Association and the chair of Pakistan Film Producers Association. So the vice chair of Pakistan Film Producers Association. I see a few names that I don't have on, like Rabia. I don't know if you're representing your company because I have a Salim Khan Tanoli here, but I don't see you in the list of people who are present. And I see a sorry.
I'm with Nutshell Group. I'm with Asfar. I'm Director and Chief Operating Officer, Nutshell Group.
Great.
That's why I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here and for that intro. What about Sarmat Iqbal? I don't have your intro as well. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Of course, I am a strategic communications manager at Lotus PR, and I'm joining along with Serena, Zubair, and Furqan.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much. There is a Merunuza Azhar who's just also entering. I'll ask her to introduce herself. So we are expecting a few others too.
Merunisa is also part of Nutshell, and we also have Uneza. So Merunisa is our Chief Disruption Officer. She heads strategy and digital. And Uneza is also here. She's our Chief Commercial Officer. So there are 4 of us. We have a very heavy presence today.
Excellent. Excellent. Welcome.
Thank you, Shanaz. Actually, this is our first meeting. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Mohammed Asfar Hassan from Nutshell. And this is the first meeting. We decided that we should join as a group and we should observe the proceedings. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Why don't you have your video on, sir, so that we can see you?
I'm actually not well, so that's why.
Okay, no problem. I believe you and I are on a WhatsApp group. Where we've been communicating with each other on WhatsApp quite a bit.
Yes, I'm your big fan, actually.
Thank you. Okay, and then let me introduce Ahmed Ali. He is a social media and admin manager at Preda. He brings 12 years of experience in the professional arena. He has done his MBA in marketing, and in addition, he has also done certification courses in digital marketing. So welcome everybody. I'm glad you also all take out the time to join us today. And we have a crisp agenda, but an interesting one. So without wasting much time, I'm going to hand over now to Selena, who's going to introduce Preda to you and our aims and objectives. So over to you, Selena.
Thank you, Chairperson, and Assalamu alaikum, everybody. So, a little bit about Preda, as I think Ahmed's been sending you, but I think a fundamental aim and objective over here is to be a representative body for, the event management industry, the public relation industry, the activation industry, and the digital industry. Because we observe that there isn't such a body for all of us to come together and represent the different fields. And when we talk about representation, what do we mean? We mean, number one, industry representation at the policy level. So at the government level, whether it's regulatory, whether it's taxation, these affect all of our industries. I think when we talk about representation, we also mean within the private sector, within multinationals. All of us, I think, are subject to loads of pitches that we do, for example, to multinationals, but how are we protected as agents or service providers? Should, those pitches be executed privately by them, or, should they not proceed in all the work that's gone into it? So how do we essentially protect our own interests? The third is actually also a body to listen to and hear what all of our clients collectively want or expect from our respective industries. So outreach and communication with all the big multinational and local businesses in Pakistan to fully understand their issues, their needs, their requirements, and how we as a body can come together to service them. And I think the fourth would be a safety net. And Shanaz, in Rasik's absence, I'm going to ask or request if you could speak a little bit about our best practices and case studies, because the safety net aspect is really important for professionals in our industry. Just in terms of young people coming into the field, what kind of advice do they have? What kind of consultancy are they getting beyond the professional workplace? Because, there's only so much that our individual workplaces can provide, but the holistic macro sort of industry overview, we hope comes from a platform like Preda. What are the best case studies? What are the best practices between us that we've all achieved? How are we shaping this industry? How can young professionals shape the industry? And then a safety net in terms of arbitration, for any clients that you have that have been unfair or unethical or lack transparency, where you need a body to stand behind you and advocate and lobby on your behalf, as a group. So just to be that body essentially for you. And ultimately, our aim is then to be taken very, very seriously as a representational body within Pakistan, but also within the region, at large, representing South Asia. And possibly beyond, as a lot of people here have businesses that they're looking to open, overseas as well, and not just within Pakistan. So that's really a nutshell, if I can use that term, of what we're doing. And I'm going to hand it back to the chairperson to talk a little bit then about some successful case studies, and then Freya can take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Selena. I think that was very informative for those who may not have known what exactly Preda is all about. Rasik, as I explained earlier, had to leave early because his mom has been hospitalized, and so he did come in for a short while, and he shared some of our successes with those who were already here a little early, but he had to leave. I did jot down a few of his points that he was going to mention, so I will read them out. But just from the top of my head, what I recall was one of our greatest successes, which I'm really proud of, is the fact that we actually managed to get defaulting clients to pay up because of the pull that Preda has, the fact that we have this platform now where all the bigwigs, if you please, are present. And if they write a letter, like a warning letter to a defaulting client saying that, you have been asked numerous times to pay the balance that you owe the agency, and it has come to a notice that you still haven't. And we would like to let you know that, we have taken note of this and you will be blacklisted. Uh, before you can even send the letter, just telling that client that this is going to happen and they're going to get this letter has brought us results. Rasik was successful in this. I have been successful in this as well. I managed to get a client to pay up that hadn't been paying after they received that letter. So this is one of the reasons, I think, for Preda to be there to protect our interests. And this was one way of doing it. The other thing is that, we've been doing, we've conducted virtual sessions with members and those who registered online to provide comprehensive updates on Preda's ongoing activities and initiatives. This is the first time that we've invited all the members, but I think you all weren't part of the ones that the Zoom session that had taken place earlier. That session was very successful also, and in that we had also talked about all the I think a lot of it Selena has just mentioned, our aims and our objectives and what we plan to do in the future. And but the fact that we are managing to hold these sessions with people who are in the industry, who we may have been initially looking at as our direct competitors, the very fact that we are present on one platform, and all these founding members, we are 13 founding members, we have a WhatsApp group and we are constantly in touch with one another, be it to wish each other happy birthday, or be it to that there may be something bothering one of us and we speak to the other just to find out if somebody has some knowledge of it and can help out. It's become like a brotherhood or a sisterhood. The fact is that the people who were not communicating with one another now are on this platform and they're there to help one another. We've had meetings. We've had a lot of meetings in person where we've got our out-of-city members like Selena and Amir, who've attended virtually, also Jazeb and Sarfraz. But otherwise, quite a few of us are from Karachi, and we managed to meet physically as well. We had one very great informal session at Six the other day. So all these things, I think, are really good, because when you meet and you start talking, there are a lot of issues that are discussed on an informal platform that can really be taken up later formally and tackled with, which I see Freya has joined us, and she will be talking about that at one point, about what we are planning to do in the immediate future. So, Amir is just joining us as well. So, and then aside from that, we have organized master classes at reputable institutions. So, one or the other of us has conducted these classes, and the objective is obviously to make sure that all the young students who are planning to join this field, manage to have a know-how directly from the horse's mouth, and they know exactly what they're getting into, what are the pros, what are the cons. And then also we've collaborated closely with the legal teams to ensure that through due diligence and compliance with all legal matters. So I think these are the things that we've done quite successfully. Selena, you may prompt me if I missed out on anything that Rasik was supposed to speak aside from this.
No, I think that's very comprehensive, and maybe we could speak about now the immediate aims and objectives. Yeah.
So I had seen Freya. Yeah, there's Freya. Freya, I have already introduced
Yes.
you. You are not there, but welcome. And
I saw that.
yeah. Sorry.
I'm in a meeting. Hi.
Can you put yourself on mute, please? And Freya, over to you. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm sorry, a little helter-skelter right now. And just wanted to ask you once again, I think we've talked about a few things. And I just want to again be clear. I'm so sorry. I've been very busy this whole day and I haven't been, I didn't look back and see what Emma wanted me to talk about. So Selena, can you tell me exactly what it was? I
Right.
know we were talking about pitches. That was one of the
So
main
yeah,
topics today,
basically,
right?
I think absolutely
Yeah.
the main focus of it is, you know, the relationship with multinationals in particular, and you know, the
Right.
practice of getting
Yeah.
10
Okay.
people to pitch.
So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So I think usually, from my experience, it's not 10 people. It's usually 3 companies or 3 agencies that are approached, in my experience, okay? And 3 agencies are asked to then put forward, do a lot of work, whether it's events, whether it's PR, put influencers, talk to everybody, get the costings, when you're an event company like mine, we have to do 3D renders, which takes 3 weeks at least minimum sometimes to put together a 2D and a 3D mapping thing together. And then you're pitching, and then you have to give them the costings as well. And usually what I know of, and I know from my experience, they already know who they want to go with. It's just because it is in their procurement that they have to approach 3 companies. I get a lot of randoms now. I also get people from India asking me for costings now, and they're also doing things, and they ask us to fabricate it, and they're the lead event companies. And the problem then becomes is, are you just wasting your time? Because it is a lot of resource and time and creativity that you put in to all of this. Now, from one of our earlier meetings, I think we got feedback from one of our founding members was that abroad, when they do this, whether it's in the UAE or anywhere, you do a pitch, and then the client asks you to change things and do a second pitch, you know, and at that point, agencies charge for that pitching process, and they provide you, the company is serious then, and they're asking you for a second pitch. That means that they have shortlisted you or whatever. But the agency then says, excuse me, but I've spent all this time doing all of this. Could you please now come back to me and pay me for my services? And that is not a process or procedure that is done in Pakistan. And it is, as all of us agree, it is extremely unfair, and it is it's wrong to do that. We spend a lot of times. I've come to the point where my son, for example, who works with me now, he is very clear. He's like, you know, why are we doing this? Why aren't we creating our own assets? And why aren't we pitching those to clients rather than, because then that's an investment that you're putting in, rather than taking these pitches forward and again, and then they don't do anything with it. I'll give you an example. In October last year, early October, like as early as 3rd October, we got from a multinational, we were asked to pitch, and we literally worked with them for 3 months, and they didn't come back to us. They come back to us now, looking at April, 6 months later, and saying, "Ji, ab ho raha hai, ab dobara kar." And ab dobara kare, meaning that you sit down again. You're not doing an outdoor venue anymore because we're working in December. Do the entire pitch again for an indoor venue, which means all the renders, all the drawings, all the costings have to be redone. Now, somewhere or the other, this has to stop. This has to stop. And Preda, as a council, can initiate this, that we send this out to all the agencies, and everyone has to, obviously, there will be people, we are a pretty solid group of people. If we all get together and put this down and make it a rule that there has to be some timelines, there has to be a lot of agencies abroad, because I'm working abroad as well now, a lot of agencies abroad don't even give you renders. They don't give it to you. They say, here is a layout, here's a presentation, and when you decide to give us this project, then we will start doing the rendering for you and putting it together and giving you the thing. Because it becomes, like I said, a waste of time, a waste of energy, and a waste of resources. So this is something that Preda wants to put forward, if everyone's in agreement, I'm sure everyone's in agreement with me, but we need to put this forward. We need to put it down and we need to share this with the agency, that these are the agencies we have as members, these are the founding members, there are about 12 of them. So there'll be quite a few of us getting together and putting this out, that this practice is a little abusive, it's not good, it's not fair, and we need to change things, and this is going to be a better business practice going into the future.
Thank you, Priya. That was very
Yes,
comprehensive. And,
complete agreement with that.
yeah. And we've, I think, all been in that boat. We've, especially recently, I completely agree with you. I've been getting these queries from India, from Dubai. They have recently been asking us to do these pitches, these multinationals, and they have, and you know, they do it with no time. They'll tell you they want it like now. They want it like yesterday. They get us to work at a supersonic speed to give them the presentations, and they keep changing their demands. They keep, once you've given them one thing, they'll ask for another thing, then another thing, and then after you've handed them everything, they just disappear. So it really looks like they're doing what we call khana puri, that you know they have to get these three agencies to give them the quotes, and so they're just using you for that, and maybe they even going to use your quote to twist the arm of the person that they really want to go with, that you know they're getting something more sort of reasonable, so you can bring it down, kind of a thing. But they already know who they're going to go with. So I am going to now leave it open to Farishte. She is going to moderate a question and answer session, and so if anybody has any queries, and if anybody wants to put in anything, add to what we've all just said, you're most welcome to. So over to you, Farishta.
So can we sum up what Priya said? We're going to ask clients to, as Preda, that means we have on board every single founding member. As Preda, what we are asking our clients for is to limit their pitches to selected agencies, 2 to 3, because Selena mentioned 10. That maybe doesn't happen in one group, but Priya, trust me, there are clients who do 2 sets of pitches and really go to town on getting in a quote from every single agency in town, which they then compare and then keep their own agency, because they want to continue working with them, but they just want to see what everybody else is doing. So this type of khana puri, as Shanaz has rightly said, and this type of bad work practices is not something we want to be a part of, because so that's one. Pitches have to be paid for. We work out the system whereby whether it is right from the start or whether it is on revision, we decide that amongst ourselves. Secondly, if you ask us to start working on something in November and actually execute it in May, that's a lot of time in between that's unaccounted for. And that is something we need to put our foot down on as well, that maximum 2 months in advance you can come to us, because they want that pitch immediately. They want the content immediately. Then they keep you hanging on for, by the time they come back to you, all the costs have changed, all the venues have changed, all the influencers have changed. So I think these are 3 very distinct points that we need to put in, Shanaz and Selena, if we can please make note of this.
Okay.
Thank you. I think Uneza has her hands up. Can we
I also want to add over here. Sorry, I'm just going to add one point.
Yeah.
The pitches also, there has to be the content, can't be कि जी आप एक 80 page का pitch कर रहे हो presentation. It needs to get like, okay, you know, you work and you do your homework and you do your pitch, but it can't be कि जी आपसे वो कह रहे हैं कि जी इसकी detail लेके आए और उसकी detail लेके, and that's another problem.
The moment they
okay,
ask you to do something over and above, it has to be paid for.
Exactly. You can't ask them because so when we put this down and we send it out, we need to be very clear. Okay. Number one, you said it should be paid pitches. It's very difficult to do that because you will find people who will say, "Ji, hum aapko pitch karte hain," without taking money. You've got to get this body together of 20 people, 24 people, first of all. You've got to limit the first pitch to a certain amount of slides, because I think some of the clients do that. Actually, they tell you retention bhi bahut kam hai clients here. You know, you can't do a book. You can't do a book on this. You have to be limiting so that it's not too much work coming from us as well. Here's the concept, here's the idea, here's the basic cost, and now you can come back to us and tell us what you want to do. Then they'll ask you, acha, ab is costing ke breakdown de. Am I right? हर चीज का breakdown दे.
Yeah, completely.
इतना काम है, इतना
Yes,
ज़्यादा
absolutely.
मेहनत है. And you know, you also, it's not just that it's affecting your office and your space. It's the influencer you're calling. You call 10 people, you're calling the vendor, you're calling the fabricator. They then also feel overwhelmed by you because they also come back and say, अच्छा क्या हुआ उसका? आप उनसे भी तो काम करवा रहे हैं ना, आप उनसे भी कह रहे हैं, उल्टा उनके ऊपर भी प्रेशर आ रहा है. So you have to be fair.
Yeah, noted.
Okay?
Yeah, Priya, noted. Atika has a very good suggestion.
Yeah.
I just read it, Atika. If you can switch on your mic and quickly explain how you want us to do this, I think that's a workable solution.
Okay, so I was thinking, like we're doing this at the Actors Association. We are encouraging the Directors Guild to work, and UPA, the Producers Association, to work with our registered members more and more, because whenever they come in with complaints that, oh, let's say an actor is not delivering or is giving them trouble, we're like, okay, then why don't you look at the directory service we have on our website and pick people who we can actually call in and sort of address for you, and vice versa. So we're also, as ACT, we're trying to work with registered members with UPA, like producers who are known entities and are registered with UPA, so that if any of our members have any problem, we can actually, rather than people getting singled out, we can actually write association to association and have the matter addressed.
Atika, how would we do this? Are we asking clients to register?
So what would happen is, like, what we could do is we could start with like the big companies. We can start with the multinationals, all to register with Preda as potential clients, you know, and that will encourage the smaller guys to also come on board.
Why would they do that? They don't want to limit themselves to two or three.
So listen, so let me tell you, like, this is something that we talked about in the associations here as well. And they would do it because if there's any kind of issue with arbitration or any kind of thing with verification, for instance, I'll give you an example of UPA. When we started UPA, the Producers Association, everybody said, oh, the producers won't sit together ever. They're basically, they compete with each other. Over the years, what's happened is become a community and they've started doing business together, you know, and going to DHA for like permissions for, the locations and stuff. It all goes through UPA now. You cannot shoot in Karachi without UPA getting a permission certification of a location for you if you're a television producer. So what will happen is that even the multinationals have nowhere to go. All of you are very well connected, mashallah. Say, if you can manage to rope in your contacts in the multinationals, say, look, here is Preda. This is what we do. You know that this organization consists of very credible people and companies. You should all register so that you become our list, a client list. Just like Unilever does or any of the big multinationals do, you have to actually register with them as a vendor before they start working with you, right?
For that, I think we'll have to show them the benefits first.
Right? Yeah, but listen, so I'm saying that one of the biggest benefits is for us guys, one of the biggest benefits is that we know that somebody's got registered, so we know if there's a problem, Preda can, address it. For instance, when let's say a litigation matter comes to ACT and it's a member or a member brings it for a producer, ACT writes a letter on behalf of the actor to UPA or DGP or whatever and says, look, here's a issue. Let's arbitrate and resolve. And multiple times it's resolved aapas mein in arbitration and nobody wants to go to lawyers and courts. So I think the biggest advantage we have is that this is a community that is recognized by the government of Pakistan. We are a registered entity with reliable names attached to it. So the pitch is already there. Now, if we collectively bring on people who come in as our registered clientele, whether I work or you work or anybody else works, we know that okay, Preda knows that these guys are credible. Now, we may not need it for like Unilever or P&G, but what we would, it would encourage the smaller guys who we don't know really. There's a lot of people in the market who want events and activation, and they pop up and they disappear. So if they want to come to one of us, they would have to go to Preda and do a verification process, and then get a little like a certification or an NOC, which everybody is going to start doing now. So I think we should go another route rather than trying to sort of convince people all the time to follow better business practices. So it's an idea, and I feel that if we start in that direction, it'll grow. It may be a struggle initially, but eventually it'll grow for sure.
Okay.
Great.
I
you have a
100%.
point?
No, I think it's a great point. I think if you're Preda certified, Preda certified means something, meaning, okay, you're part of something.
But for that, Priya, you have to show them the value.
Going to protect
and we have to
you.
work on that.
So we need to send them a letter of the value.
Yeah. Okay, let's park
So
this.
we need
We've
to list that
discussed
out.
it. We need to
Here's
get
the
back to
value
it.
of the-
Thank you. We need to get back to it.
Yeah.
Oneza, your hand was raised. You want to say something?
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for raising this. I just want to bring the attention towards another similar subject, which is not the pitches, but the retainer clients who make you work like, I don't know if you want to use the word, and then they would not pay you on time, or they would just park the projects that they asked you to work on. So how do we as a association handle that? Because I at times feel that the reply to that would be that you're on retainer, so we can make you work on whatever we want to, and then it's our choice whether we want to put that post up or not. So how do we tackle that? And I'm sure everybody faces the similar situation, because it's a industry-wide problem.
I understand. What you're saying. And I think for that, it's
Could
something
I
you would
also
do.
come in?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, please.
No, after you.
So what I feel is that's your conversation with your client, that after X number of posts a month, the terms will change. But you say it upfront and get that on paper with them. Good luck if they agree to you, but that's something Preda can get behind. But Selena, go ahead.
Yeah, I just exactly wanted to put that down, Oneza, one thing that learned this the hard way, so I want to share it with you. When we started, we had a very set from the beginning amount of deliverance. It's very difficult really, because there's so much qualitative work that we do. But what we've started trying to do is putting down even things like how many meetings we're going to have with you within our retainer.
Yeah, so it's all about how you talk to your client and what exactly you get on that contract before you sign up.
Right, absolutely. I mean, we've quantified every
We are losing you, Selena. We can't hear you. I think there's a connectivity problem.
That's why I'm switching video off, because sometimes that is also a problem.
Selena?
I also agree with.
Yeah, Selena, sorry?
Yeah, I switched my video off. Is this any better?
Yeah, it's much better, much better.
Okay, great. So what I was also saying on Aneza on that is that why I say we suffered is that we developed a reputation in the market for being very inflexible. So a lot of people said, oh, it's very inflexible. And I think we would have really benefited behind the idea of being as structured as possible in our communications, all of us, in terms of what we'll deliver and sticking to it. Obviously, there's a 15% up and down that you do with clients at your discretion. But I do want to add to this point, Farishte, and say that Preda should find a mechanism to get behind the kind of contracts that everybody setting up with an independent client. It doesn't become an abusive relationship, which it often unfortunately does, and it becomes very toxic.
Okay. I guess, Uneza, you could work with that. Anybody else has a question or contributes to what we were talking about?
I think Atika has written something
Sorry.
in chat.
Yeah.
At the risk
Well,
of
that will go into the
hogging this,
minutes.
Farishta, I have a question actually,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
picks up on the same thread, which is we talked about how we should demand a fee for pitching. But one thing that I feel is not uniform in the industries in which we operate are the fees that we're charging. So all of us charge different fees from different clients, right? Whether it's our retainer fee, whether it's a project fee, whether it's a percentage of any expenses that we're incurring. Do you think as a body it's beneficial to have uniform ballparks as agencies so we can't be played off against each other, or do you think that that's not a good idea?
But Selena, correct me if I'm wrong because I'm terrible at finances, but these days at least the multinationals have fixed a percentage that we will pay you 7 or we will pay you 10%. And that is what they do across the board. It's not a question of me telling them, oh, if you're coming to me, I'm going to charge you this. They don't give me that choice anymore. They don't say this is your fee, so we're okay with it. They say this is what we are willing to give you. The smaller ones, of course, you can negotiate.
Yeah, I think maybe the multinationals are dictating, but the others are not. So there is a wide spectrum of quotes that are going out. I agree with Selena. For the same services, one may be, there really is a huge difference in what people are charging. So
yeah, but it's a free market, Shanaz.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a free market. If your client knows that if I go to A, I'm going to have to pay X, and if I go to B, I'm going to have to pay Y, and they still come to you, that's fine. That's free market.
But I'm going to give you an example, Farishta. I agree with you, it's a free market, so I struggle with it. But we had this pitch with a client, and the client was with this multinational advertising firm who were charging them a pittance, like I'd say an absolute pittance for a huge amount of work. And obviously they're not satisfied with that huge amount of work because the quality of work you're going to get in that is ridiculous. But now it has spoiled the market for so many others because everybody else pitching to them feels like this unreasonable. This has happened on multiple occasions, particularly over here, that they turn around and say, oh, but X company, who's a much bigger company than you, was only charging us, whatever, 2 lakhs. So why are you charging us 5 lakhs, a month for something? So it becomes, I'm just saying, it kind of spoils an industry benchmark, if you will.
But now they saw, but in paying their advertising agency peanuts, they got the monkey work.
Farishta, why don't we ask Asfar and some of the others to give us their opinions on this? I think it would be a good idea to get their input as well.
Yeah, Amir, if you want to come in here, Asfar, if you want to come in.
Yes, Asfar is here. My point is कि जो इस वक्त PR इंडस्ट्री में इस प्रेडा के जो मेंबर्स हैं इनकी बात नहीं कर रहा. What we are facing today, जो बहुत ही लो रेट्स पे लोग काम कर रहे हैं, यानी 100 रुपीज का काम जो है ना लोग 50 रुपीज में पकड़ लेते हैं, तो उसमें ना क्वालिटी होती है ना कुछ होती है, और इस वजह से PR इंडस्ट्री भी डिक्लाइन पे है कि ना आप अपनी ह्यूमन रिसोर्स का ख्याल रखते हैं ना आपका अपना सिलसिला होता है, और उसमें बड़े ठीक ठाक कॉम्प्रोमाइजेस आ जाते हैं. वी आर वर्किंग विद वन ऑफ द बेस्ट क्लाइंट्स इन द कंट्री और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हम उसमें बहुत अच्छे पैसे चार्ज करते हैं, लेकिन उसमें प्रॉब्लम हमें ये आती है कि कुछ जगहों पे हमें भी कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना पड़ता है. हम बहुत नीचे नहीं आते, लेकिन हमारी अपनी ह्यूमन रिसोर्स कॉस्ट बहुत ज्यादा है. अगर हम एक क्वालिटी वर्क डिलीवर कर रहे हैं, बहुत सारी कंपोनेंट्स पे काम कर रहे हैं, ओवरऑल अक्रॉस द बोर्ड सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं, तो ये प्रॉब्लम आती है बिकॉज जब आरएफपी आता है, जो प्रोक्योरमेंट आती है, वहां पे आपको चैलेंज आता है। तो ये जो अतीका बात कर रही हैं, ये थोड़ा सा लॉन्ग टर्म जरूर है, बट आई एम इन कंप्लीट एग्रीमेंट विद हर कि जैसे OICCI है, उनकी 210 मल्टीनेशनल कंपनीज है वहाँ पे मेंबर। तो OICCI में हम इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकते हैं कि वो अपने मेंबर्स को बाउंड करें, एक अवेयरनेस क्रिएट हो। अगर आपके 25-30 क्लाइंट्स भी वहाँ पर आते हैं तो ग्रेजुअली वो ट्रेंड जो है ना वो इंक्रीज होगा। और इस तरह से हम स्टेप बाय स्टेप, नॉट ओवरनाइट, नॉट इन वन गो, बट स्टेप बाय स्टेप हम बहुत सारा एक लार्ज सर्कल इसको एंगेज कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि ये जो बहुत सारी प्रैक्टिसेस इस तरह से चल रही है, उसमें दोनों तरफ का कसूर है। इसमें क्लाइंट्स का कसूर नहीं है सिर्फ, उसमें सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स का कसूर भी है। एडवर्टाइजिंग इंडस्ट्री का डाउनफॉल पाकिस्तान में इसीलिए आया है। आज आप देख लें, एडवर्टाइजिंग इंडस्ट्रीज जो है वो बहुत सीरियस क्राइसिस में है, एक्सेप्ट द फ्यू प्लेयर्स। और उसकी रीजन सिर्फ यही है। PR इंडस्ट्री में देखता हूँ पाकिस्तान में डिक्लाइन पे है। आप में से बहुत सारे लोग इवेंट मैनेजमेंट और दूसरी चीजें कर रहे हैं, जिस वजह से आप लोग अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। लेकिन जो प्योर PR एजेंसीज हैं वो बहुत शदीद किस्म के डिक्लाइन पे हैं। तो उसकी रीजन सिर्फ यही तमाम चीजें हैं। तो उसमें एक एज इंडस्ट्री एक प्रोडक्ट प्लेटफॉर्म है, और हमें भी यहाँ पे ज्वाइन करने का पर्पस यही था कि एक इंडस्ट्री का प्लेटफॉर्म होना चाहिए जहाँ पे आपस में कोलैबोरेशन हो, ना कि कंपटीशन हो। आई ऑलवेज बिलीव ऑन हेल्दी कंपटीशन, और हेल्दी कंपटीशन हमेशा इंडस्ट्री को ग्रो करता है। तो ये प्लेटफॉर्म से अगर हम इस किस्म की चीजों को लेके जाते हैं एक वन वॉइस के तौर पे, ये हमें बिल्कुल करना चाहिए। थोड़ा सा हार्ड होगा शुरू में, लेकिन ग्रेजुअली चीजें बननी शुरू होंगी। 1-2 साल आपको लगेगा इसमें, ये ओवरनाइट काम कभी नहीं होगा। बट आई एम इन कंप्लीट एग्रीमेंट एंड वी आर इन कंप्लीट सपोर्ट विद द नैरेटिव।
Great, thank you.
Right.
So,
Amir, you want to come in, say something?
Amir,
You're on mute.
let me unmute. Amir, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Can anyone hear me?
No.
Hi.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to say something. There are plenty of people in Lahore who are charging like 50,000 to 75,000 for the whole event. That kind of destroys the whole market. I mean, as Selena was saying, that we should have the same people, I mean, the same fitting pricing, but there are so many bloggers who have turned into PR in Lahore that the only thing they play on is a cash price of, let's say, 50,000 for the whole event, including posts and all. So the market is kind of very bifurcated here in Lahore, especially.
It's bifurcated here also, Amir. Karachi is also facing the same problem with these one-man shows.
True. Because
And
I
I
mean, I
wanna
know people who take what 75,000 for the PR of the whole Hum TV, BCW, and all that, and they're very happy with the money they get.
Yeah.
Yes, but is the client happy with just one person doing it rather than plenty more? And ultimately, it's the client that has to decide this.
Recently went to an event which was a joint collaboration between two bloggers, and they gave out 20,000 vouchers to the guest, and the turnout was great. And I think they must have paid what 100,000 between the two people doing the event.
I think Amir, ye hoga. This is going to happen. I think the idea of being part of Preda and being part of a council, and I think that that's something that we also need to initiate in all our emails and things going out, just like we have our logos on our emails. We need to put Preda there as a council, that part of Preda council. That is important, because that in itself will give more value to you as being part of an organization,
exactly. So we have to
which
show the
takes
client.
stock of good business practices.
Correct.
This is just a
So show the
suggestion.
client
I
the
think that
benefit.
is something that.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
true.
Show the client
Great idea, Priya. We should do that.
Yes,
Right.
we should
Atika wants to
incorporate
say
the Preda
something.
logo.
Yes, Atika, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. Okay, so I was also thinking as we were speaking, like I mentioned that in the Producer Association now, no production house or channel can shoot anywhere in DHNO unless they go through UPA to DHA to get a NOC to shoot in particular or in the houses there, right? And you know that all these all the houses are being used as sets, and there's a lot of business happening in DHA. So I was thinking that, every time we meet, we do talk about the issues and the problems and, how to tackle the external problems. And those things will slowly and, in the long haul start to hopefully get, better and resolved, hopefully. But in the meantime, I was thinking that what are the services that Preda could actually offer a member? Like if it's NOCs, like when we do events and all, we have to get NOCs for venues and permissions and all kinds of things. Maybe Preda can play a part, like you for the producers. Of it. So when we go to the police or whoever, rangers, they know they're talking to a verified body. Now, what that will do is not only will it help our members, it will also encourage people to come. Like a lot of people joined UPA because they just couldn't shoot in DHA unless they were a UPA member, because UPA is the only authority or the association that DHA now goes through to give certification to shoot in DHA. So if you're not a UPA member, you can't work in DHA. Way of strengthening us, and also another way of is giving services to our members. I think there should be a list made of services that Preda could give members, frankly.
I like that. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I think that the only way to strengthen Preda and for everyone else to take a case that we sent out, and one of the reasons we're doing this, I think, before we go out and say, hey, you can't ask us for pictures and money, and second time around, we tell them what services we're offering, who our members are, and we need to, take a look at it again and say, okay, this is what we're going to add to it. And I think we can all make a list of things and we can send it across, and then we can take it forward.
Excellent. Excellent suggestion. And let's minute it. Anybody else has anything to contribute before we wind up this town hall?
I think she's raised her hand.
Farishta, I have a question.
Yes.
When we talk about asking to be remunerated for pitches, do we have a figure that we've thought of, like what would be fair to ask?
Yeah, I was thinking of that myself.
Because it would be good to hear from
It's good.
everybody here and have a consensus
I
opinion.
think we should, let's benchmark it. Let's benchmark what happens in India and the UAE, and then we should move forward with that. I'll try and get some figures.
Sounds great. It would be good to hear also. I think Tanoli Saab is here and Asfar.
Yes, we haven't heard Tanoli sir.
Or anybody here, who might have experience.
Okay, so
Salim Khan, I think Salim Khan Tanoli is here with us. Do you think he can say something, add to this before we wind up?
okay, we leave that for next time then. Thank you, everybody. I'm so glad we've got onto this forum to start exchanging ideas.
Ahmed, I think you need to do the minutes. Yeah, and I think Ahmed needs to do the minutes of this meeting.
Sure.
And across so that we have everything down. Yeah, sorry, and sorry for this. And I was also thinking that, that I just have I want to be clarified. Are we talking about first pitches or second pitches? Are we charging for first pitches also? I think that's going to be difficult.
Let's see what the best practices are in the region, Priya.
Okay.
Yeah, but having said that, I would still think that if it's a very extensive pitch that they want, we should charge them even if it's a first pitch. And, especially when they ask for it at a very short notice and they want it in 3D and things like that, and then they just don't come back.
Agreed.
So we should charge even for the first pitch, but let's see, we'll see what the industry practices are. and then we can decide. So thank you, everybody.
Circle back.
Thank you
Okay.
very, very much for being here. I think it was a great session, and I'm glad we managed to meet our full members this time. Next time, hopefully, we'll have more attending it, and we'll do one. We won't wait so long to do the next one, so that we are constantly in momentum and get this ball rolling. So thank you, everyone, for being here today, and we'll see you again soon. And Ahmed will
Thank
be
you.
with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.